Welcome back to Disabled DM's YouTube channel. I'm Jevin D&D, and today's video will be a review of the PDF supplement of the Convocation, and done by Matt at Click, also known as a Fistful of Dice, Ice, and part of Absolute Tabletop. You can find this supplement on AbsoluteTabletop.com. I will begin off by saying I was very pleased with this supplement and think it's well worth the investment. The cover art is absolutely beautiful. I like the cover scheme they use for the pages, including the header and footnotes where they have an image of clouds and kind of a gray smoky look. This helps give it a bit of flair to each page, and then the off grayish tan that they chose to use I thought was wonderful. I love how they did the table of contents. I think it was very well done. I liked how they included Ebonot a Primer, which is the campaign setting for the Convocation that Matt Click uses. How it gives us a little bit of kind of the lore of the land and kind of a feel for what the campaign setting should be. With that said, I'm sure people will use the Convocation for their own settings as well. I like that they have the distinct orders, such as the chaplains, the envoys, and the wardens. However, I think they could have expanded this to 4 or 5, because there are some characters and personality types that don't fit perfectly into any one of these 3. It's, for example, a Durban wizard who's not very spiritual, not very diplomatic. He's more about combat. The closest we found for him was Warden, which we'll discuss. But to me, wardens are more of a melee class, as it didn't really fit kind of the idea of a wizard, although any class can obviously belong to any one of these orders. It just kind of the feel of the orders didn't quite fit it. However, I found other characters fit perfectly within these 3 orders, so either way is fine. I would have just liked to see 1 or 2 more orders added to it to kind of cover the gaps. I think the artwork in the supplement is amazing, and I am really impressed at how thought out each of the orders are, including emblems, what their role is. I also like that they included a couple minor orders, such as the Order of Initiates, it's the Order of Artificers, and Order of the Stewards. Perhaps if they had changed these, is at least the Artificers and the Stewards to be a part of the main orders instead of a suborder. They might have had something that fit every class and then left the Order of Initiates as a minor order. I like the timeline. Again, as any timeline they do have done, I understand keeping it short so people can read through it easily and understand the important events. This one seems to be more expanded than timelines I've seen in other supplements done by them, which I really like. There's more major events to work with. So I thought they did a really good job with that. I like how they have set up the Convoker ranks, the commandments, the primes of the order, the Justicar, the Synod. I think that's absolutely perfect. I can't picture anything better that they could have done with the command structure. I love how they included outposts of the Convocation, and these are areas that belong basically to the Convokers within their setting. I like how they added non-player characters such as a Convoker Initiate. They give all the stats and skills for one, which is really nice as a DM to have, because now we don't have to flesh out that NPC. It's already done for us. We just plop a name on it and use it as we need to. Same with the Convoker Chaplains, the Convoker Envoys, or Convoker Wardens. This is really nice because it cuts down on a lot of work for a DM, because we can just take it straight out of the supplement. I like how they included the fledgling griffins and the mature griffins with the stats under NPCs. I would have liked to see maybe one more added in between fledgling and mature, and that would have been like a young adult griffin. Kind of your late teenager type stage, but they're not fully mature yet. But I like having the two as well. Then they go on in the supplement to give us a roll table for missions. And I like how this is done. Although to me, it's a little bit confusing whether the intent was made with the intention of you roll a d20, and then you go all the way across the table, or whether you roll a d20 for each section, such as an antagonist, the trouble, the location, and the obstacle. Well, the way I initially see the table is you roll once and you go straight across, and that's the situation. And however, if you're to roll a d20 for each of the 4 categories, then it's almost limitless as on the different combinations you could have. And I think they picked some really good choices as for antagonists, the troubles, locations, and obstacles. So for example, if you rolled across, you could have a dragon, and that is leading an army of living dead in an overgrown forest, and they have hostages that need saved. So by rolling each way, you can get some really unique missions and sessions. Whereas if you roll straight across, you would have for, say, in you rolled a 4, you'd have a dragon doing frequent raids in an overground forest with contested territory, which is still a good session. It's just more limited doing it that way. So I personally would use it as you roll a d20 for each option. And I love how they give some sample Convoker missions. These are really useful for a DM who hasn't had time to prep, or is running a one-shot session just out of the blue. I also like that they included a section called Convokers Elsewhere, in which they add different ways as you can use the Convokers in a different setting, such as Dragon Grin, or whatever your own personal setting is. I think this allows for DMs and players to choose to use a Convoker in their own settings. And they also have some interesting options, such as replacing the griffins with a different type of monster, such as a manticore or a wyvern, depending on your setting. uh, including the option of having the Convokers be corrupt knights instead of champions of good. This is nice because sometimes players just want to play an evil campaign. And so it's really nice to have the option to make these supplements applicable whether the alignment's good, neutral, or evil. I love the Convoker ring, and I think that's just an awesome little magical item. I like the different robes, shields, including the artwork, the helm, Envoy's helm, the Warden's gaunt. I think that those all fit the particular orders, and they're not extremely overpowered. It's something that you could easily add into any session. I love how they include a section on how to become a Convoker. I think this is very well done and needed, including the boons that you get as a Convoker, including your Griffin. And I love how they kind of go through how to use the boons, how to mix the boons in case a character concept doesn't quite fit. I also find it interesting they included a section for planning challenges and encounters for Convokers. I think this was a smart move on their part because of the additional boons, the griffins, and the magic equipment. And the suggestions of making it a little bit more difficult by maybe a challenge that's a level higher would be more appropriate. I think this was a smart move on their part, so GMs don't have to throw stuff that's too easy at the players without having to run numerous sessions to figure out what kind of things would be a challenge for players who are using the Convokers. I think the boons are well done, and I like how you get them at levels 3, 6, and 9, and then an extra use at 12, 15, and 18, and how you can mix and match the boons. And there are some really nice boons that fit really well. So overall, I think the supplement was pretty well done, and definitely well worth the money. However, my favorite part of the supplement and it has to be the griffins. and how you roll up your griffins, which they provide a table for doing so. Oh, and as soon as I scroll down to it, it's pretty awesome to me, having used this to roll up a couple griffins, and how it works, and the kind of results you can get. I love how they include a bit of lore about griffins and their early life, how they mature, how to care for them, which is often overlooked in having a mount or a companion. And I also like how they did teaching the griffin tricks. It's such as come, guard, help, fetch, etc. I think those were really well done. I like the tables for the gender, appearance and personality table. Again, I like how it's set up, although it's confusing whether you roll a d20 once and you get all those options, or once for each option, such as fur color, feather color, physical trait, and disposition. I personally roll a d20 for each option, to give it a wider variety. And some of the combinations are really interesting. The griffin and name table, I think, is interesting and what's needed to put in. However, I come to the realization using it, the prefixes and suffixes, each choice could be either a prefix or a suffix, and I've come up with some really good combinations using an option that's meant to be a suffix as a prefix, and vice versa. And I've also used what they have here just as inspiration to come up with my own names. So I think the griffin tables are quite interesting. It's fun to play as a convoker. And overall, I thought it was a really well done job. And definitely worth the amount of money that they ask for the supplement. So, with that being said, you can pick up the Convocation supplement at AbsoluteTabletop.com. And as always, may the dice roll in your favor.